Hello, I am Mauricio Rivera, and I will be telling you a little bit more about our company and our product. The company is called Aires de Campo, which is only a small division or a small branch of Grupo Verdes. This company is devoted entirely to making the most organic, sustainable, and eco-friendly products on the market. Everything is produced and harvested by us, and we make sure to get everything from the Mexican market, and also to pay very fair wages to everyone involved in the production process. The product that we are going to export are jams, or jellies, however you want to call them. These jams are packaged in a glass container or a glass jar, and are then shipped to the exporting country. Our jams are made only of the finest qualities and materials, in this case berries and fruits. So, what we are left with is a very good jam of very good flavor, color, and well, packaging.
Hi, I'm going to talk about the survey that we use to fit our product for the Finland market. It was really simple because with a couple of questions, we can determine if we are in a good price range or if we had the flavors that consumers prefer. Also, we ask if the customers care if it was organic or not and how often we should sell it. In the QFD metrics, we can realize that as a priority, we have to offer more flavors of different fruits for the different tastes of people. We also determinate that it's important to offer different sizes of product presentation to meet different needs for the consumers. That our product be organic is so important because it's something that motivates consumers to buy it, and also we have to make that our product have an easy accessibility because it's something that the customers look for. In this part of cost of change, I'm going to mention the difference between our flavor cost and what happens if we add two more flavors. In our original product, we had that per jar it cost 9.99 pesos for the fruits. We proposed two different flavors, strawberry and orange, and we saw that the price of these fruits per jar are cheaper than the original. With the strawberry, we can save 2.08 pesos per jar, and with the orange flavor, we will save 7.20 pesos per jar.
Our exportation process begins by collecting the raw material, which in this case will be the berries, and they are transported to the factory for the production of jam and its proper packaging. This process takes 18 days. Once the product is ready to be exported, it is taken from Michoacán to the distribution center in San Lorenzo Tlatenalco in Mexico City, in order to be transported to Veracruz and to enter the warehouse of the customs agent to be inspected and the documentation review. Then, to put it in the container and be able to upload it in the ship that will go from Veracruz to Helsinki. This process takes around 24 days and 17 hours. Upon the arrival in Finland, at the import custom office, it will be taken to the distribution center so that they can be taken to the supermarket and reach the customers of our whole export, and that will be our whole export process. It takes around 51 days and 9 hours since collecting all of our raw material to the exportation to the import country that is going to be Finland in the supermarkets in Helsinki. Our exportation process begins by collecting the raw material, which in this case will be the berries, and they are transported to the factory for the production of jam and its proper packaging. This process takes 18 days. Once the product is ready to be exported, it is taken from Michoacán to the distribution center in San Lorenzo Tlatenalco in Mexico City, in order to be transported to Veracruz and to enter the warehouse of the customs agent to be inspected and the documentation review. Then, to put it in the container and be able to upload it in the ship that will go from Veracruz to Helsinki. This process takes around 24 days and 17 hours. Upon the arrival in Finland, at the import custom office, it will be taken to the distribution center so that they can be taken to the supermarket and reach the customers of our whole export, and that will be our whole export process. It takes around 51 days and 9 hours since collecting all of our raw material to the exportation to the import country that is going to be Finland in the supermarkets in Helsinki. The five documents that we're going to be using to export our product are the commercial invoice that is between HKM Hanukari and us, Aires del Campo, and it's just a legal document that serves us as evidence of the transactions between them and us. The second one is the packaging list that legitimizes the contents of each package, like the boxes we're using, the pallets, and including the weights, the measurements, and all the detailed list of everything of this. The third one is going to be the policy request that serves as an insurance to guarantee that our products are going to be fine and perfectly safe the moment they leave Mexico to Finland, to the moment they arrive to Finland. Also, we're going to be using the certificate of origin, that this is an international trade document that certifies that our goods are produced, manufactured, and obtained, in particular in Mexico. And the last one that we're going to be using is the bill of lading, that is a legal document issued by the carrier and the shipper. That has all the details about our products, like the type, the quantity, the destination, and it also serves us as a shipment receipt so we can be sure that everything is going to be fine.
Now we have our break-even point, where we consider our fixed cost per month, sales price per unit, and the variable cost per unit to get a break-even point of 321 jellies per month. And we subtracted the sales price minus the variable cost, and finally divided by the fixed costs. We, as Aires del Campo, will export 3,289 jellies per month. This means that we are having a surplus of 2,968 jellies per month. And to calculate our costing, we have several assumptions like variable cost, fixed cost, operation profit, several costs, exchange rates, and finally our Mexican peso dollar forecast. Our costing in Mexican pesos, we take into account all these assumptions, and we calculated our costing in Mexican pesos that give us a price per jar of 209.77 pesos. And finally, in the same way as the costing in Mexican pesos, we calculated our costing in USD forecast. The result of this operation gave us a total of 22.08 USD, giving us a cost, insurance, and freight price of $9.5 per jelly. Now we have our break-even point, where we consider our fixed cost per month, sales price per unit, and the variable cost per unit to get a break-even point of 321 jellies per month. And we subtracted the sales price minus the variable cost, and finally divided by the fixed costs. We, as Aires del Campo, will export 3,289 jellies per month. This means that we are having a surplus of 2,968 jellies per month. And to calculate our costing, we have several assumptions like variable cost, fixed cost, operation profit, several costs, exchange rates, and finally our Mexican peso dollar forecast. Our costing in Mexican pesos, we take into account all these assumptions, and we calculated our costing in Mexican pesos that give us a price per jar of 209.77 pesos. And finally, in the same way as the costing in Mexican pesos, we calculated our costing in USD forecast. The result of this operation gave us a total of 22.08 USD, giving us a cost, insurance, and freight price of $9.5 per gel.
In regards to Aires del Campo's sale forecast, we calculated a projection for total sales from 2022 to 2027 using Finland's growth based on its PIB for each respective year of operation, which is the information you can find in blue, as well as the growth percentage for Aires del Campo, which you can find in green. Using this data, we obtained the percentage of growth per year, obtaining an average growth of 1.5% in 2022, increasing to 3.7% in 2022, decreasing 4.4% in 2024, and sustaining an average growth of 1.7% from 2025 to 2027. These results you can see in yellow. Finally, using a forecast for year 0 and multiplying it by growth, average growth, we obtained our total sales forecast, which gives us the following results. 289,538 for 2022, 300,250 for 2023, 287,175 for 2024, 291,884 for 2025, 296,686 for 2026, and finally 301,581 for 2027.
Considering our cost forecast in US dollars, we multiplied every single cost for 6 months and finally our cost, insurance and freight forecast. Analyzing all the things mentioned before, it gives us a total investment for the first 6 months of at least $37,257. Thanks to the research that we made about the interest rates that are offered by the most popular banks in Mexico, and after comparing a few like Banamex, HCBC, Santander, and Banorte, we got to the conclusion that Citibanamex is the best option of them all, because it offers a 14.25% interest rate, which is the lowest of them, to get our investment. So we decided to work with them with a total investment of 782,401 Mexican pesos. That is the equivalent of the amount in dollars and mentioned before. Analyzing 3 key factors of the income statement, we think that net profit, operation profit, and profit before expenses are the more relevant to understand our income statement. In terms of our income statement, we made a forecast of 5 years, having a net profit of approximately $44,974 for the first year. In the same first year, we have an operation profit of $83,484, and for the next 2 years, we can see a decrease in our profit, and it's until the 5th year that we recover for a final profit of $79,402. For the profits before expenses, we can see the same trend. In the first year, we have a $74,957, and it goes down, and in the 5th year, we can see how it starts going up, getting to a total of $70,715.
Cash flow. Based on our sales forecast and our cost, we have an initial contribution of $7,310 for the net working capital. Then it is planned to do contributions, so at the end of each year, the balance is 8% of the sales. The initial contribution is 3 months of operation expenses. Net present value. And finally, to calculate our net present value, we took initial contribution plus cash flow present value, giving us the result of $136,000, and our return of investment taking a 6.5% rate of the project,
and a 7.36% of Mexican inflation and our assets cash flow. Our investors expect a minimum 13% return rate, and using that same rate, we brought the incomes to present values. Then, making a summation, we get a present value for the project of $143,000.
And now the conclusions. There's 5 important points. The first one is viability. That is, the information such as the break-even point that demonstrates that we would be recovering our initial investment by the second year. Not only that, but in terms besides the financial ones, our research shows that our product would be well received in Finland, since the population there is keen on jams, fruits, fresh and organic products, and we have a well enough income per capita that allows them to spend more in more gourmet products. The second one is profitability. After the numerical analysis, including the sales forecast, the income statement, the net present value, and the operational cash flow, we can more than firmly conclude that if this information backs up this project would be quite profitable. Our calculations show a tier of 352%. So for each dollar we would be getting around 3.52 US dollars. The third one is why Finland is a good choice. Well, according to Hofstad, Finland has a high femininity index, which shows they are prone to taking good care of their health and the products they consume. They put a lot of care and consideration into their lifestyle, so an all-natural organic product is more than well preserved. Likewise, jam consumption in the country is statistically high, with over two-thirds of the country eating jam regularly. The fourth one is that our price is competitive. Well, why? An average jar with 100 grams of jam costs around 7 euros. Our product, a jar with a total content of 250 grams, is replaced at a slightly higher price of 9.5 euros. However, our product offers more than the double of the amount of jam that an average local product does, and for less than a half price. For this, there is even the option to increase the price further, without it being considered an expensive product, and thus increasing our profit margin. The last one is expanding to other markets. We have assessed that this project has given us a clear idea of which is the real situation in order to export a product similar to ours to Finland. However, that does not mean that exporting another country would be different or more complicated. Various neighboring countries have a similar profile to Finland. Those basically copying the business model and applying to is viable. If we were to set to our aims on a country farther away, on Western Europe or Asia for example, we believe that the base business model would still apply and only minor changes are to be made.
Having a social responsibility proposal is nowadays something no company can be without, as it is important to support activities aimed at vulnerable communities, optimization of efforts in programs that support the environment, health, nutrition, education, and culture of society, especially children and natives. These actions may not reflect immediate benefits to the company, but they are an important part of its character and culture. Having said this, Aires del Campo's social responsibility proposal is to be committed to the environment by pursuing a zero waste policy, which we aim to attain by 2025 by carefully selecting eco-friendly materials and assuring that they are at least 80% sourced from recycled or biodegradable materials, and looking for partners with the same mindset, which can help us attain this goal. Another part of our proposal has to do with our relationship with farmers. Our aim there will be to promote the adoption of organic farming so that we can work with more suppliers which offer 100% organic produce and in return offer fair prices so they can offer better wages, helping both the environment and the economy.
I resume for all members' contribution. In general, I can say that we all contributed information to be able to carry out the necessary calculations to analyze whether it was viable to export the jam to Finland. However, I have to mention that Ian and Cesar were the most active members in this semester. They were leaders so that the the whole team could work properly.